Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shoot y'all a video real quick and show you how to do this in case you don't know how to do this in JavaScript. I'm reading your letter here. Let's see. Okay, we are no programmers at all. I'm not really a big major programmer. I'm learning myself, but I'll teach you some things real quick. This is what you see when I copy paste, and basically I remove the formatting in the chat thing, because you get that option whenever you copy paste something over. If there's any type of formatting, like the back screen right here will be black. Inside the Wurm forums, when you copy paste over, they do have a thing that pops up that says remove the formatting, which will remove the color, the background, and everything. But basically I copy straight out of IntelliJ. What you'll want to do is you're going to want to here. I got your letters, you can see I'm reading it. What you're going to want to do is come over here and you're going to want to look up IntelliJ, and you'll want to go to jetbrains.com. Make sure you pick the right one. This is what you're going to want to use. This is one of the good favorite tools. When you go to download, you want to pick the community free edition. Download this, install the community free edition. Once you have that, move this back over here. Once you have that right there, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do this, and I'm going to show you very carefully. What I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to create a new project. Alright, first of all, go through the things, make sure that IntelliJ is set to use. When you go in here, when you first create your project, you need to have the SDK. And basically the newest SDK is 1.8.0.111, and what you'll do is download the Java version of your operating system, whether it be 64-bit or 32-bit, and you'll want to make sure you get the SDK from Oracle. You'll want the and I'll bring that over here, that way we get all this underhand. You can do a search on Java SDK, and you'll see right here oracle.com. You got to find the right one, because it always puts all this bullshit up here for you. Let's see, Tech Network, Java, blah blah blah. This is Oracle's actual web address. I'm familiar with their web address, so it's not hard for me. I don't go down here and start getting other stuff, and that comes off of other people. I go straight to Oracle. You can go right here. What you'll want is the this one right here, 8U11, which we click on this right here, and you need to accept the license right here. And this is like, this one right here is the next one that's going to come out, and this will replace this one. This is like a whatever, but this is the one you want right now, is the 8U11 111. And like, I use 64-bit, so I'll download this one right here. If you're 32-bit, you'll download this times 86 one right here. Basically install it, and then when you get to this point right here, you're going to need to tell your project what SDK you're using. So like, I go in here, let's just say you'll select new, and you'll say JDK, and in here is where you're going to find where your JDK is. Okay, like, see, this one here is saying it's in JetBrains, JRE, but actually mine, I use 64-bit, so basically what I have to do is I have to go down here, and instead of program files, I will go right here. I will find my Java. I'll go in my JDK. Not my JRE, that's my runtime environment. I need to go into the JDK, which is the Java Development Kit. I'll go into my bin in here. Basically, if I'm not mistaken, I just click on the main folder. Let me double check. You don't need to worry about this right here unless you're messing with this stuff right here. But as you can see, I've got this one right here selected. Once I do that and I have this version up here, then I can just, all you gotta do is just click next. Once you click next, just click next. Then give your project a name. You can say W U for Wurm Unlimited. You can give it, you say, project. I don't want to confuse it with the way I do mine, because I just basically WM and then I put the version number down, and that's how I find all my versions when I'm changing them, or I go to the next version when I update my server or whatnot. But basically, you can do this right here. You can say, let's see, I can put an underscore, and I can say 1.1.2.3 underscore test. And let's just do this right here. So then I click finish, and what this does is it creates me a new project. So I'm going to tell it to do it in a new window, and this is what you get. You'll get the Java external runtime libraries, which are already open. As you can see this little mark right here. So basically it allows you, it's already set as a library. Okay, that's why it's got this little bitty thing here, so we can open that library and look into it. Then we have our actual project, which you'll get an IDE thing, a source folder, and you'll get this little IML right here. You don't need to worry about anything except for this source folder at this moment. So basically what I want to do is I want to go in and let me go over here. Window. Okay, so basically right here what you want to do is you want to go, okay, there's two types of server. This one right here, you won't have this folder unless you download in Steam the dedicated standalone server. You really don't need this unless this is what, if you go rent a server, this is what they're using right here. If you set up a dedicated machine on the side, you'll want to use this right here. But if you're not doing that and you're running this off your computer, you'll go into your Wurm Unlimited folder and you'll see this one right here, Wurm Server Launcher. But I run off a dedicated server or a company, so I use this one right here. So I go in here and basically we're going to select our common folder and we're going to select our server folder, select them both, right click. Oh, and while we're doing that, we're going to do all this, and we're going to select this libraries folder right here. Okay, and I'm going to copy all this. So I got all three selected. I'm going to copy them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here in my project. Okay, right here, I'm going to make sure this is selected. I'm going to right click and I'm going to click paste. And I'm going to let it paste it in. And here's what you're going to see it happen. Give it a second. Okay, now what it done is it copied in my common.jar and my server.jar. Now I need to be able to read these, so I need to click on each one of these and go down here and click add as library, and it's going to add. I just click OK. This one right here, click on again, add as library, and what this does is it allows you to open these up now and look in them and see this stuff right here, which is every file, you know, in your Wurm for you to code in. And you're only going to be messing when you go in here. You need to just select com.wurm online and then select here to select server. You don't need Java 1 or website or anything, just select server and all your files are in here. And the common jar, common Wurm online, these will be other files that you might alter in the future depending on what you're trying to mod. Once you have these two added as library, you got to add all these as library. You don't have to worry about this .text because it's not a jar file. What you want to do is add all these jar files. What happens is if you don't add this library out of, if you don't add the library that's in this Wurm dedicated server, these libraries have been altered and got extra stuff in it, and they have to be here. Otherwise, when you start coding, you're going to have errors that you can't get rid of. So you need to go into each one of these. You need to add all these as a library. Go through here real quick. I'm going to walk you through this. So we're just going to start adding all this as libraries real quick. It's a slow process at first, and you have to do this every time a new most time you have to do this, especially if they changed one of these libraries. If they added something new to the library, changed something, added a method or whatnot to these libraries in Wurm online, you would have to go in here and make sure that you're getting the right one. So every time they upgrade, and I'm going to show you why Wurm Unlimited is so great. I mean, IntelliJ is so great. But basically, we're going to go through here. We're going to add all these. As you can see, we're adding all these as libraries now. This one right here, don't know what it is, but this is Steam Service INI. I'm just going to click as sources and click OK. Don't ask me why I've done that. I just added as sources because this is all that's in here. There is nothing. It's just a meta INF and a DLL. So I just use it as sources. These, on the other hand, are a lot more than just being a plain source file. The rest of all these are, what they are. So we don't have to mess with any of these now. All this is done, so we can click that to make that pile back in this little folder. Now what we want to do is, when you want to code, you want to go in here. We're going to go to our server, and let's say we want you're wanting to change what is it? Read here. Putting items on traders. So let me go back over to my project because mine's still open. I know exactly where this is. It just takes me a second. Items on traders is probably, it's either creatures. No, I think it's this one. Nope. Is it this one? Oh, I'm way down here. Just give me a second. I'll find out exactly which file it actually is in. That's not that one. Just give me one moment here. That one is it? Just takes me a minute to remember where this is actually at. Player folder, if I'm not mistaken, is where this is. This is at. Wait a minute. No, you're adding items to a trader. Okay. Adding items to the world trader. Player. It's been a while since I've done this. Just give me a second here. I don't think it's under item. Definitely won't be under item. It's got to be under one of these. So let me go back in here, slowly do this, and find out where it's at. I just got to slowly go through here. I'll recognize the code when I get to it. Okay, it might not be under this one. These files, they get all entangled. Alright, come here. Give me my little bar. Take me a minute. See, like this stuff right here, achievements. Back these. This will take me a few minutes. I haven't been doing any modding. I just go in and make sure my mods don't get touched. Every time they add something new, I have to go in and compare all the every file I change, I compare to the original, and I just replace any of the originals that I don't ever touch. It's definitely not those. It's got to be up here. Or if it's in creature behavior. Entries, primary skills. It's just trying to remember where this was actually at. Did y'all say see exactly where it is, and I know I copy pasted it out and showed y'all. I'm just not awake today. I'm definitely not awake today. It's got to be in. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, putting items on trader. Ah, duh. Okay. Putting items on traders. I don't know where I'm at. Yeah. Okay, it's none of these files. What you'll want to do. Okay, let me go back to this one. Putting items on traders. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the economy, which was under the shop one. This is where it was. So basically, first of all, what we got to do, and this is the new project I opened up, as you can see right here, project 1123 test. This is where you're looking to add items to the world trader. Let me see. Yep. These are the items that are actually setting on the world trader right now. These. And you can go in and you can, to really find these things, let's see, we can go to items. If you need any information on them, you can go to item list, and under item list you're going to see the numbers for every item. So let's just look up item 509. 509, we can just do a shortcut control F, type in 509, and 509 is resurrection stone. So this right here, what I normally do is I'll go in here and I'll take this name and control C it, go over here, and for 509 I'll put that. Okay, that's right. I gotta wake up. We can't change these files. We have to make our own, then we can change it. So first of all, what we have to do is we have to go up here. We take this right here, the Wurm online.server.economy. We're going to copy that. Then we have to go up here and we have to go to source. In source, we're going to click new Java class. We're going to paste that in there. Then we need to add the name of this file, which is shop. So we do dot shop. Okay, so dot shop. So we're making the shop class, but we're going to make a Java form of it. We click OK. This is it. Then we go back over here. We can Control A to select everything, Control C to copy everything. Then we can go back to our shop class. We can then sit down, and if you want, you can take that crap out. You can take that out. Then you can just paste this here. Paste everything that you just copied over there into this file. What I did was I left this right here because this is my altered file. This is my name under IntelliJ and everything. This is my name on forums. So as you can see, this is the date that this file was created. So I just leave that information there. And it'll put this extra information about IntelliJ and Thinflower, or Fernflower. Just decompile. Okay, now once we got this, then I can go down here, and that was the resurrection stones. Let me go back over here. I'll copy that little word. I'll go back to our shop file. Then I can here and put a comment on this. This is now my modded stuff. Now what you'll see is up here under source, it created the com.wurmonline server.economy shop, which is the same thing right here. Com Wurm Online economy, but it adds server in because we're on the server folder, and it adds the shop file in there. So I don't need that anymore unless I need to go back and reference or compare it to this right here. So now this is my full file that I can alter. Now that I've done this, all I got to do is go up here, right click on the tab, say recompile, and it's going to make a new folder now called an out folder. In the out folder, it will out my shop class, which I can find in my files under the 1123 project. Under an out folder, I'll find this shop.class where it's been recompiled back up into the class file, and it'll have this change in there, or any changes that I make. Now basically all you got to do to add new items, I'll close that back, to add any new items, all I got to do is basically anywhere in here you can add new items. So 666, what I normally do is go through and find out every single item, put my notes in, so when I go through here and I'm altering things, I don't have to, try to memorize these numbers. This is a good thing to do with notes. So I know that sleep powder 668 is rod transmutation. I go back over here. 667 tuning fork. And this is what I do first. I just go through and 682, which is Declaration of Independence, which was new stuff that was put in here. As you can see, this is what I do. I just go through here and I add this stuff. Now when I want to add my stuff, I can go in, and what I like to do is I go into a place like right here. I know this right here, and exe insert item, which is exe, which we're inserting from the get inventory. Right here we're going to insert item, and we're going to insert this item right here. So basically I need this and exe. So let's just do this. The easiest way to do this, copy one that ain't been altered yet, copy that. I'll go right here, right up underneath this one, and I might do a comment saying my added stuff. Then I'll pop that in there, and then down here I'll go end of my stuff. Just whatever you want to do to separate out your stuff from their the original code. So I know anything in between this is stuff that I'm doing. So I can then add this a couple of times here. Then I can add whatever number I want in it. So let's just say I want him to sell range poles, so I can say 901. So basically what I'll do is I'll select that, copy it, and I'll go here and I'll change this to 901. Put my little comment saying that I've now added a range pole. You don't have to do this, I just do this so I know, I don't have to memorize what 901 is. I can just look behind here and say, okay, that was a range pole. And then you just add the quality. Say we want a 50 quality range pole to be sold on the trader. Okay, now once that's done, it's pricing you got to worry about. Pricing is done in the items database. So what we'd have to do then is we have to go over here to our items, and this is where you start, item template creator. This can get to be a pain in the butt, especially here at the beginning, because the way IntelliJ is, you'd have to go through and do a lot of crap. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So first we're going to decompress item template creator, and you have to do this for the item database, and it is a pain in the ass to do. It really is. I'm not that familiar with IntelliJ, and I haven't tried to look it up or find out why IntelliJ does it. Let's see. As you can see in here, they used to have short behind everything in the short array, which they didn't need to add the word short behind all these. And these things used to be long across the screen. And then you have these two right behind this short array. These two are also shorts. And then you have this piece right here, which is a byte. Now in IntelliJ, you have to have this information. I'm going to show you what it's going to do here in a minute. You'll have to go through every single damn item and do this. And unless there's another way that I haven't figured out, I don't take the time to try to learn Java or the IDE. I'm too busy studying C#. But here's what's going to happen. First of all, we're going to copy this. And I like to do this because it's just me. It makes it shorter for me. So I'll put a dot, paste. Oh, I can't do that here. That's right. Okay, so I'll copy this. And I'll do something stupid like I'll open up Notepad real quick. And here's why I do it. I'll open it. Good God. Notepad opened up huge. So I'll just open up Notepad real quick. I'll paste this in here, then I'll put dot. Then I'll copy this right here because I hate to type. And I'm lazy when it comes to typing. I only type if I have to. Then I'll select all this. I'll copy that. I'll close out Notepad. I won't save. Then I'll go over here. And I'll right click on source. And I'll say new Java class. And then I'll just paste that whole thing in there. That way I didn't have to type any of it. Click OK. There's my new item template creator class. I'll go over here. I'll select all this. I'll copy this. I can now close that out. I'll go over here. Let me take this out right here. Don't want that in there. Don't want that in there. Then I'll go back here. Paste all that in there. Okay, now we got all this paste. We're going to start seeing some red squigglies. And there's a reason behind it. This is all redded out for a reason. Even though these are okay, as you can see, IntelliJ is real cool to go ahead and show you what your errors are. You just highlight over the line. You can see right here we have an image number short, which is redded out, behavior type short, which is redded out, then a material type, which is a byte. And basically what it's doing is it's wanting you to do this right here. It wants you to put your brackets in. It wants you to go in here and type in short. And what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go through, I'm going to select this, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back here to 49. I'm going to paste short in front of it. Then what it wants to do is it wants to go back here, this right here, if I'm not mistaken. This here is a byte, so we need to put a byte in here to let it know this is a byte. And you give it a second and all the squigglies go away on this line because this line is now nothing wrong with it. This is the thing, I don't understand why their code don't have to have it in there. It's something that I got done with IntelliJ, but unless you know what's causing this and why IntelliJ reads it out, because this don't have it's not being actually shown that it's being into a short, you know, because as you can see I can go back here and I can do this. This is what I had to do to mine at first whenever they changed everything. They came in a couple of months ago and changed everything and took shorts, because they used to have this on all the code right off at the bat. So 16 was the code here. And this here is a byte, so typecast it to a byte. And then this problem will go away on this line. And I had to do this to every one of these, but I don't know, you know, with IntelliJ if there was some shortcut or something that it would recognize these as bytes as they was, because as you can see here, it recognizes exactly what it is. It tells you it's a short. It tells you it's a byte, and it's wanting to call it a byte, but without that little piece of information calling it a short or a byte, you get a red squiggly. So anyway, if you're unfamiliar with it like me, you'll just have to go through and you'll have to go through every one of these and change where it's redded out and call it a short, and a byte. And you'll have to do that for the whole thing. But once you're done with all that, basically all you'll do is, let's go back to our shop class, and we added a range pole. So what we want to do is find out where the range pole is. So once we do all that, this will not be red up here anymore. It'll be all done, and you can right click and click recompile, and you'll get a new one up here. As you can see, it's already put it in our source, but once you recompile it, you'll get a new one up here for items, and it'll be item template creator on your out folder. But you only get it once you compile it. Let's see here. Range pole. So let's do Control F. Come on, Control F. Let's look for range pole, and there's no range pole on this one. So basically, I can't remember which item class it was in. It's either going to be in the template creator continued, so you'd have to do this one here, and then you have a third item template creator third. So basically you have to do all three of these, because eventually if you're going to change any numbers or anything in the item template classes, you'll need to do this. And you can create your own. When you add your own personal items into the game, you create your own. You don't want to put it in theirs. And I'll show you exactly what you got to do to make your own class right here, because any object I make or do any change that ain't in their code, I don't want to have to come back over here and keep editing this class unless I have to. So I make my own class, my own you know, item template class, and I put any item that I create and put in the game, any item whatsoever that I do, I put in my own class. But let's go in here. Let's look up range pole, model tool.range pole. So this must be it. Is this it? Oh, come on. Let me have my little lines. Yeah, this is range pole. Okay, so basically, here's the range pole code. So this right back here is where you're going to come in with a price. And this is the difficulty to make it. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the price right here. Okay, this being the price, this is what you'll change. You'll need to change this piece of information unless you're using mod loaders or whatnot and crap like that, which I don't prefer to use, and I will not ever use mod loaders. You will go in here and you will change this right here. Mod loaders make it too easy for people to cheat and inject stuff into your server, because when you use a mod loader, you're using something that a lot of stuff is unprotected or whatnot. That's why a lot of classes and methods are protected or private. And when you go through mod loaders and stuff like that, they start to become unprotected, unprivate, and you're able to start injecting shit into someone's server just by using your client. Because as long as they have the mod loader where things can be injected into, the server, it allows the client, which is connecting to the mod loader, to inject into the mod loader, which then injects it into the game, into the server, and that's where you get all this cheating crap at. I don't like having mod loader. I've had many people try to come to my server and cheat. I've had some sit down for days logging out every few minutes and logging back in and not doing anything. They're just trying the cheats out, trying to get what they can get to work on someone else's server to work on my server. It don't work. You can't do it. I don't use mod loader, and there's no way they can inject that shit into my server. They'd have to be a lot smarter to go the other route to inject shit into my server. But anyway, this is why I do my own modding. I don't use mod loaders and stuff like that. But this is right here is your price. This is what you'll change for the money. And this number right here, this here is a material ID. And a lot of people, I'll show you right offhand, I've posted in the Wurm forums for them to change this, but they never did. So let me go up here. And like I said, whatever you change that price to back there will reflect what the price is sold inside the game. So when you want to change the price of an item, you have to come to the items page right here, the template creator, and you have to find that item. You have to go to its piece of code. You have to change its price there. But when you want to add the item, you add the item to the shop guide. You just go in here underneath the create shop, and when it creates a shop, it takes his inventory and it throws all this stuff in there. As you can see right here, what happens is, some people have asked this question. I'll answer this question real quick. Right here the code says, we're going to create an integer called contract, and it's going to equal 0. And a contract, if it's less than 3, then we're going to plus up that contract. And what this contract is mean is just a word. It basically, what it's saying is, if this item goes below 3 and ends up being 0, it's going to add 1. So what it'll do is it'll add 1 item back to the merchant. So he'll never run out of your range poles. He'll start out with 3 when you first set him up, just like he does with every item. Every item's going to start out with 3, and once all the items that start out with 3, when you go and buy one of these items off of him, it's going to turn to 2. Then you buy another one, it's going to turn to 1. Then when you buy another one, you're automatically going to think, well, then he's not going to have any more. Now, what it does is it runs through the loop, and he'll always have 1 after that. But every time you buy one, you wouldn't be able to, when he gets down to that point, you wouldn't be able to, if you wanted to have more, you'd have to change this, or you'd have to change this around and create a different type of for loop that will just keep adding more until it regains back the 3. But I've never took the time to do it. I just add the items because I know he'll always have at least 1 on him, and you just close the window. Like if you wanted to buy 2 range poles and it was down to 1, you would buy 1, then he would not have it in his inventory. You just close the inventory out, open trade back with him again, it'll be there. He just replaces the moment you leave his inventory, he'll automatically replace it for the next person. So he'll always have one. But you can change this where it could have more, and he'll add more. You just have to change this for loop. Anyway, this is where you'll put it in here, and you just add as many as you want. Add as many items as you want to him. The quality that it's going to be, and it's just by adding this little line right here, adding it in and changing the information, and you can put your little notes in so you know what it is when you come through here. Other than that, and the template creator, that's just one of the things that I can tell you. Okay, here it is. Great, I'm right at it. Okay, this is the problem a lot of people have right here, and this, I'm glad I'm right here at this. And this is in the template creator regular class. This right here, I'm going to show you what happens. And it's all back here. If you'll notice, this is the price if it gets sold. Right before the price is the material. And this is all the Red Dragon scale armor. This little piece right here, you'll notice, is you'll see right here, this says 16, this says 16, the legs say 16, the hand dragon scale armor says 16 for the material, but the chest plate says 0. It has the wrong material number on it. That's why you can't see it in the game. If you change that to a 16, that 0 to a 16, the Red Dragon scale armor chest piece will start showing up in the game. And I've posted this before. I've gotten stupid replies, and I'm not going to name any names from the guys on the team, but I was told that, oh, it works. Yes, it works in Wurm Online. It doesn't work in Wurm Unlimited. And I've been told, oh, it's going to be fixed in the next patch. It was never fixed in the next patch, and this has been several patches ago. So, you know, if you want to fix this on your server, you're going to have to change this file right here. You're going to have to change that from a 0 to a 16 under the Dragon Scale torso, because that's what's causing it not to show up. It's basically, you don't see it at all. You just see your regular chest because it don't know the actual material type, which is 16. But anyway, that's just so, you know, if you want to fix that little problem right there, you can. Now, on to this. Okay, if you want to create your own item template creator, so when you add your own personal items to the game, all you'll need to do is something simple like this. As you can see, I have my own items list archonic. And I'll tell you why I have this. You'll have to, if you don't do what I do, you'll have to actually add in, you'll have to actually go to the items list folder, and you'll have to go over here, and you'll have to go to the bottom of the, where is my little bar? Gosh, that damn thing's so much invisible in this orange line. There it is. Basically, this is where you have to add the item. You have to create a public static final int in this folder. When you add a new item to the game, you have to add it to here, then you add it into your items templates creator, and then you're fine. Well, instead of having to go in here and keep changing their database every time, what I do is I create my own, and this is what you'll see. So basically, when you look up here at the original items, let me move this around. You look at the original items. What you're going to see is you're going to see package com worm server.items. Well, mine's the same, except for instead of server.items, well, actually, it's going into items thing. This is what's different. You'll see public class item list. Well, I have to create my own method. Public class item list archonic extends item list. So I'm going to extend this list here. So when I extend, what's going to happen is it's going to go through here. Then it's going to come over here. When it reads this folder here, it's going to say, oh, you extend into there, and it's just going to add all my stuff behind all this over here. And this is all the stuff I've added. At the end, I put a public static final int number of items, 2049, which basically all that's going to do is going to go over here. As you can see, 1107 is where they ended here, so they put this public static final int here. What I've done is I've just extended it on my end. I'm saying, okay, ignore that one and use this one instead, because this is how many items I'm putting in here. I actually put down where I actually end. As you can see, I started at 2000. They ended 1107. The reason I started at 2000 is because I want to make sure that as they add items, as you can see, they've added sleeve cotton, 2 sleep cot. We used to be around, where was it? I think it was 1,024. Actually, we were less than that. As you can see, all this new stuff they've been adding over the last couple of months. Yeah, we were right here. We were at one point we were around 1,011 items in the game, and they've added all this stuff. And they just go to the bottom of the list, and they just keep adding the new items to the list, and it goes on and on and on, numbering up, adding up. So what I did was I just started up a lot higher. I started at 2,000 and started creating my own. Now, not only do I create my own item list, I create my own item template. And basically what you do here to create this, you just need a little bit of code. So we're going to go to the original item template creator. And what you're going to see what I've done here, not over here, is I sit down and I created a public class called item template creator archonic, which is just like theirs. And I'll even show you better off of one of their other ones. We'll go to their continued so you can see what I'm doing here. So basically on the continue, they create another one, and it just extends item template creator. It implements model constants and item types, and then it has its product static final logger to item template creator continued, and then it creates a public item template creator continued, then another method here with all the stuff in it. At the end of such method, we just stop, and then we go to the next one, which is third that they created, and yeah, as you can see, we repeat the process. Well, this is what I do here as well. I do the same thing, and I add all my items, so every time a new item is, I don't have to go over here and ruffle through a ton of items that they've had in these past ones. All I have to do is look at my own, any item I've added. I go right here to my own file, and that's what I'll do here. You might want to do this if you're adding new items, is create your own, because at that point, the only thing I ever have to update, if the only thing I ever change in the entire code is just adding items, and I don't change anything else, methods or anything to anything, the only thing I would ever have to do is add an item, just have my own item list, my own item template creator, and this is where I would add it. I would never have to touch their files. I would just have to keep adding to my 2 files and just add my 2 files to their server with the new XML document, mapping texture document, and my own folder for stuff, as I'll show you what I'm talking about by that. If we go to common, Wurm Unlimited, once we go in here and we go to the pack files, you'll see in the graphics.jar, when I open it up, you'll see I have my own folder where I put all my own artwork and my own models in, and that's under art stuff. And I'll have my own stuff listed here: hitching post, house, maps, tables, transports, flags, containers, cabinets, animation. I have my own folder, and I don't have to go into any of their stuff. And all I do is do that, add my own folder, and change the mapping.txt, add my stuff to the mapping.txt, and then I'm fine to go. But hopefully this answers some of your questions, especially about this right here in the shop class. Because if we go to my shop class over here, you'll see what I've done. This is what I've done. As you can see, it's the same thing. I've come in here, chest no decay large, chest no decay small, bag of keeping, hand mirror, spyglass, dragon leather sleeves. I put the dragon stuff on them. I put the red scale, the regular dragon stuff. Added all the potions to the World Trader. The masks that were in the one event that never, was PvP event or whatever. I had all the masks to it. Potion of Infinity. Teleportation twig, teleportation stone, resurrection stone. I think these were original, but I added all this other stuff to him here, as you can see. And basically that's what I've done, is I've added all my stuff to the shop. Excuse me for yelling. But yeah, hopefully this answers your question. Hopefully you can stomach the long video. But I figured out, since y'all are saying that you're no programmers at all, so I would go over a couple little things. IntelliJ is very good to use. You can use Notepad. For example, let me go over here for a minute, and I close that out. So I'm going to go over here, and my stuff actually gets posted out here. Where's it at? We're looking at Wurm Unlimited 123 underscore. Okay, this is ARC. So if I go to where mine's actually at, and I go to the out folder, productions, and I just forgot what I was going to do. As you can see, the class file here. Okay, yeah, I didn't want the out. Okay, so what you're looking to do is, if I go into the source folder where I've created before it's been turned into a class file and it's still a Java file, in economy, I can right click on this, open this with Notepad++. This is something you'll want to see is Notepad++. Not right now, I'll download later. Notepad++, basically it sees the Java, writes the Java down like this. Notepad++ is very good for a lot of things. It has tons of plugins, tons of settings. It's like I can go to language and I can tell it to, whatever language I'm trying to read, and that's what it's going to try to write it in. So, but we're in Java, so basically this is what you're seeing. Notepad++ is able to read C# language and stuff like that and make it where it looks exactly like it would over here in this IDE. So it basically gives you the support of an IDE, especially when trying to read it. Because let's see, let me just go right here for a minute. Go up here to the very beginning. As you can see, I'm looking at the same one. We got all our imports. Of course, over here I have to actually extend them down so you can see them. We got all our imports, then we got our implements, and it basically almost does it like this. It won't give you the exact same color code as I have in IntelliJ, because this is my color coding setting. And you can change these all up, where these are red or whatnot, and these are blue. It's just however you want to code, and set your own color settings so you know what's what. But this here I think is defaulted to Dracula, and I like it a lot. But here you'll just see stuff like this. You'll see some red because this is actual number, and then you'll see this here is in black, which here it's in this color, and here this is blue, and over here this is orange. You get the picture. Basically it's the exact same code, but you can read it real easy in Notepad++. Very good program to actually have. But I'm hoping this helps you out. I'm gonna run this through the video editor, shrink it so I can put it on YouTube, and then you can watch it from there. But if you have any questions, if I can answer them and I got time, I will try to answer them for you. But other than that, have fun, enjoy coding, and keep learning.